Here's a beautiful question from the comment section. How do you use your emotions instead of having them use you? Remember these two things. The subconscious mind is impressed by way of repetition. You learned how to walk by getting up and falling down every single time. Or a strong emotion leaves an instant impression upon your mind. If you're in school and somebody looks at you and makes fun of you, instantly you now become self-conscious. It has left an impression upon your subconscious mind, and it will haunt you now unless you deal with it. Remember those two things. So now when you know what it is that you want to create, that thing you want to create is associated with a particular visceral feeling in your body. Visceral means you can feel it. Like if your mother used to force you to eat Brussels sprouts, now every time you even walk by Brussels sprouts, you go, huh! Yes. See, the body responds. So if you are going through something and you recall it, if you recall the memory, you are reliving it. So how do you use the emotions? Remember, emotions are these little balls of energy. Yes? Anger, frustration, happiness, sadness. They're little balls of energy. And you can, with your attention, you can direct these balls of energy in different places. You can move it around quite like a fire hose. You can point it over there. You can point it over there. Now, why would you choose a particular emotion? Well, you want to create something. The thing that you want to create is associated with a feeling in your body already. This is why Neville Goddard says the mood already exists, right? So what is that thing that you want to create? You need to know what that is. Then you know what that is. How does it feel inside your body? Does it bring the body a sense of peace and ease and relaxation? Or does it cause the body great consternation, anxiety, fretting, worry? What does that image of the thing you are wanting to create make your body feel like? That sensation in your body is a ball of emotional energy that was impressed upon your subconscious mind in the past. So now you have to use a different type of energy, a different type of emotion to push. Because remember, emotions impress the subconscious mind instantly. This is why Neville says, when you imagine the scene, you catch the mood. Remember when he was stuck in Barbados and he lay in his recliner and he saw himself walking up the gangplank. He walked up the gangplank, but he didn't just walk up the gangplank. When he leaned over the rail, he felt the ebb and flow of the waves beneath the boat. He smelt that green smell from the ocean. He used all of his senses because the senses are emotionally charged. That's what they are. So if you remember the broccoli or the Brussels sprouts that you were forced to eat, every time you now think of them, you have this feeling. You're like, oh, I can't. So if now you want to use a sensation, an emotion, bring one of those emotions up in your body. For instance, if it's romance, because we all want a lover, don't we? If it is romance that you want, perhaps, have you always been single? Have you dated someone? Have you watched a romantic comedy? You see, that emotion was generated in you from somewhere, whether intimately or vicariously. You have experienced an emotion. So if you want to have that romance, perhaps you're like me and you read romance novels. And when the knight in shining armor bursts through the gate, you're like, oh, you see that burst of energy. Now, when you bring up the scene, use that burst of energy. Go back to it and bring it up and say, oh, how sweet. You bring it up. Now here's the caveat. You can't lie to yourself. You cannot have the creation in your mind of a beautiful relationship and your body says to you, but yeah, we're not pretty, we're not funny, we're not smart. What are we going to do? They'll never choose us. How many times have you been chosen? You weren't even chosen to go to prom. Nobody wanted to go with you. See, that memory has a very powerful emotion of rejection attached to it. So you are wanting to create this beautiful relationship, but your body says this feeling is stored in your subconscious mind. This sensation of rejection is stored in your subconscious mind. So every time you want to tell your body, I am worthy, I am beautiful, they always choose me, your body says, no, they don't. Because based upon past memories, this is how you feel. This is what's stored in your subconscious mind. How do you replace it? Vicariously. Like I said, you've read a romance novel, you've seen a romantic comedy, you see lovers walking down the street hand in hand, forehead to forehead, somebody's being kissed on the cheek. Now, if you see that image before you of the lovers, if you see that image and your body responds with, ugh, get a room. She's not even pretty anyway. Like, I have so much more to offer than she does. Or how did he end up with her? How did she end up with him? It must be the money. If you gaze upon a relationship, do you feel the emotion attached to it? That is what you are projecting outward because it is already impressed upon your subconscious mind. You are pushing it. You are using it to thrust your image forward. But the image in your mind is always going to override. Let me say it again. The image in your mind is always going to be overridden by the impression on your subconscious mind that is already there. The image in your mind of the thing you want to create will be overridden if the emotion that is stored in your body doesn't match it. This is the law of correspondence. So if you bring up the image of a beautiful relationship and your body says, I know, right? Can't you just see us skipping through the field of dandelions? Oh, even though my allergies are sucky right now, he is still so lovely to be around. She's still so glorious to be around. You see how those two things match? The image in your mind that you are creating of a beautiful relationship and the sensation that is stored in your body or impressed upon your subconscious mind, they match. So now when you fall asleep and you bring up that la-la-dee-dee beautiful relationship, your body says, yeah, you can rock me to sleep with this one because it feels good to be in this relationship. Look at how she looks at me. Look at how he speaks to me. And you fall asleep playing that scene of dancing through a field of dandelions. And in no time at all the necessary components will come together to bring you that relationship because you are already living it in your body. How do you know you're living it in your body? Because the image you hold in your mind and the sensation that your body recalls that is showing you what is stored in your subconscious mind, they match. But Angela, what if it's about money? Well, if in your subconscious mind is stored, money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work really hard for money. You have to know somebody that knows somebody. If that is what you believe about money, that is the impression on your subconscious mind. So now when you say, I can win the lottery. Oh, I find money everywhere. Money's given to me. Your body says, no, according to what you currently believe, that's a lie. Money doesn't grow on trees. That's what you believe. So then this emotion of anxiety and worry set in. And instead of creating an abundance of money, you recreate the lack of money because that was the emotional impression left upon your subconscious mind. So how do we get rid of that? Now you begin to look for money. You say, oh, I wonder if I'll see $5 on the ground somewhere. I wonder. You just look for it. And your body will come and say, oh, that seems easy enough, I suppose. But we already know how hard money is to come by, so good luck trying to find it. And if you find a nickel, what do you say to your body? See, we find money. Because you know why? You found that nickel. Yeah, Angela, it's a nickel. No, it is what the nickel represents. It was emotional for you to find that nickel because you found the nickel and you go, I found money? Ah, now you have impressed the subconscious mind with what? That you find money. Keep practicing that. Every time now you begin to think of money, if you get money's hard to come by, stress. If you get that sensation in your body, remind it that you found money. Because it will believe you. Why will it believe you? Because it was there when you picked it up. Right? Now, another way. If you come across somebody who's wealthier than you, and you scoff at them, must be a drug dealer. I wonder what kind of shady business you're into. If you say that, well, clearly, the emotion behind that thought is impressed upon your subconscious mind. And because it is what is in the subconscious mind, even though you may want to create abundance, you will create what is in the subconscious mind. How do you know what's in the subconscious mind? The way your body responds. So you see, the emotion that you feel when you think about the thing you are creating, that emotion is what's stored in your subconscious mind. It's a memory. And because it is stored there, even though you may want the opposite of that sensation, you will only ever get what's inside the subconscious mind, making it look like you're getting the opposite. So we use our emotions when we feel them. So instead of being angry at someone and, throwing hands or catching hands, depending on which side of the fence you're on, look at the situation. What is that person doing? They are projecting what is within them. So then, instead of becoming angry, recognize the law at work. Recognize that as within that person, so must they project outward. When you recognize that that's what they're doing, what have you done? You've now transmuted your energy of anger into acceptance and calm. That's what you've done. So use that ball of energy and begin to redirect it in the areas you want to put it in. Because the faster you can impress the subconscious mind, clearly, the faster you will experience it physically. That is why emotions are there. They're not there because, you hurt my feelings. That's not what they're for. They're balls of energy to be used when necessary to propel the what? The manifestation of your creation. I trust that made sense. If it does not make sense, tell me where you're still confused and we will elaborate and break it down some more by way of law.